and your job is to listen. If you finish first, please let us know.
Yeah. 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 Mm-hmm.
Hello, everybody. It's live theater.
Yeah.
Ish.
Ish. Ish. Yeah.
All right, so we start with Tales of Symphonia. As we know, the PC port just recently dropped into the Steam store, and we've already have been getting some really bad complaints about it. The port shipped with locked resolution and frame rate, and non-existent graphical options, and really, really bad localization, including the reports is that the internal resolution and frame rate have been locked at 720p and 30 frames per second. And people are reporting also issues tabbing between the game and other programs, which is something you really shouldn't do. Um, Unless you're running the game in a window. But if you're running a game full screen, even in this day and age, all tabbing is not a good idea.
I mean, I do it all the time
Because you have no shame.
because I
But
have no shame, and I will just. Then people are like, "Why did your game crash?" And I'm like, "Because I alt tabbed out.
I alt tab all the time.
It's my
Um,
fault.
it is her fault. It's always her fault.
It's my
But in any
fault."
case, we have
Yeah.
some other issues. Like some menu items will appear in English, even if you have set your language to French, German, or Spanish. Some menu items are simply just not there. Like the description is not there, the name is not there, the item is there, but they're blank. And there's some horrible, horrible typos in English, like battle controlos, like that. So it's like, what the hell were you thinking, Bandai Namco? Right now, there's a well-known modder, Peter Durante Thomas, has already released a mod that fixes most of these issues. But really, you should not be you should not be relying on your modders to fix the shit that you should have had at launch. So
Yeah.
people out there, for the time being, avoid this game on Steam. It breaks my heart because it's a great game, but they fucked it up. Yeah, come
Yeah.
on. It's been like how many years, for crying out loud?
Yeah.
And it actually is a great port. I'm like, come on. They can pull it off. Why not you, Namco Bandai? Why are you taking the Warner Brothers way?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. It's my dream come true.
Oh, hold up, Drew. We are having problems with your sound. Chat is saying that you
Uh-oh.
don't have any audio. That they can hear Mouse and me, but they can't hear you. They say
Stupid
when you can
buttons.
see your lips moving,
Stupid
but no audio.
buttons. Stupid buttons.
I will do a dance interpretation of what
No,
Drew
no, no,
is
no.
saying.
I
so
found the
that-
button. The button's there. Thank
Okay.
you. I wish they'd said this at the beginning of the game when I was at the beginning of the game, at the beginning of this broadcast when I was randomly talking. And
You have
thanks,
lost the game.
guys. So as I was saying, XCOM 2, if you were hiding under a rock, came out yesterday, getting critical praise. Fibraxis is embracing the, it's stupid buttons because I forgot that the thing is on mute because of the configurations I have to do when I'm in the other room. So, yeah, thanks. Again, live action improvisation. I should just be playing with shadow puppets. I really should.
You really should.
Interpretive
We've kind of
dance.
devolved into like a Punch and Judy kind of
Maybe
thing right now.
maybe at a later date I'll do an interpretive dance version of the show, but
Well,
not
like
right
sing,
now.
Like Warner Brothers sucks, and Drew will be in the
Not so much an interpretive dance there. That was more of an operatic.
No, I'm doing the
recreation.
music for your interpretive dance. So dance, monkey, dance.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
So let's just go ahead and move on.
XCOM 2 exists now.
Yeah, it
And
exists.
buy
It's a
it for money.
thing. Go watch it.
That's
Not
basically
now,
what we're
but
saying.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
CC, you're up.
Yes. Well, first up is Talisman is coming up with a new online game. It's Talisman Horus Heresy. I'm kind of unsure right now about whether or not it's just Talisman with a Horus Heresy skin. But so far it looks really good, and everything that I've read is pretty excited about it, but everything that I've read about Warhammer anything is generally pretty excited about it. So
Got a dedicated community.
yeah, they've got a really dedicated community, which I personally really like, and this has a lot of potential. The Talisman video game people seem to be pretty darn solid. So I think this is potentially going to be really good. My big thing is this just a Horus Heresy skin, or is it an actual Horus Heresy version of the game? So I'm hoping it's the latter of the two, and I think that's what they're trying to do. But so far, most of what they've talked about is you can explore this region of the Horus Heresy stuff, and you get to go to this planet. You know, the home area of the Thousand Suns, which is really cool, but it's still a little bit skinny, a little bit Horus Heresy skinny. So I'm hoping that it's actually its own game, but we will find out.
And right now you can pre-order it on Steam, and you'll save about 5% on it. Right now, Steam is having the Lunar New Year sale celebrating the Year of the Monkey.
Yeah.
I was just playing with that, so.
Yeah. And
Next
is it's another Warhammer 40K thing, and this is for the tabletop game. They have the Curse of the Wolfen coming out, which is going to be it's a new campaign book, which I'm really excited about because and what everybody's talking about is that it gives the Wolfen as an actual new unit to the Space Wolves, which is really exciting because I think that's something in the lore people have been really excited about. The Wolfen actually turn into these weird, like, space wolf kind of creatures. They're kind of werewolfy, and they've been in the lore for a long time, and there's been a long push for, hey, we need, like, Wolfen units, and so we're actually going to have, like, a real Wolfen unit, not just kind of like, aha, I play this Wolfen now, it's kind of halfway made up rules. So people are going to be... Everyone that I know is super excited about Curse of the Wolfen. I don't know the actual release date. I know it's coming. It should be in the next month. They generally keep that within that time frame. I'm thinking it's going to be in about 2 to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. They may have announced it and I just can't find it. A lot of 40K sources are very big on giving you all the stats of things and not actually telling you when the books come out, which is frustrating. But but this is going to be really cool, and if nothing else, I may just buy it for the campaign book because it looks like a really cool campaign book as is. So
you're a bit with Warhammer like I am with Pathfinder. Must have them all. It's a Pokemon thing.
Have them all. Like I have a Sisters of Battle Army, which if you actually play 40K, you know that Sisters of Battle Army is an all metal army, which means you have to buy each unit one by one separately, and it's like 3 times as expensive. So, yeah. You know how I talk about how I'm poor sometimes? This
is why.
That would be why. That's her money sink.
Yeah. I don't own a car because of that. So, and up next is Dark Mouse.
Dark Mouse. This is basically Dark Souls for the rodent inclined. It's a very stylistic 2D top-down game.
With black silhouettes.
It's very stylistic. I was watching various players. I watched Jim Sterling do his Squirty Plays episode of it and got, God bless.
Thank God for Jim.
Jim, yeah.
That's what you to do.
And basically, this is like I said. This is like Dark Souls for mice. You run. It is Dark Mouse.
Yes, that's exactly what I thought. I was very confused when he started.
That's
talking
why.
about
As soon as
it.
I saw it, I sent it to him. I'm like, oh look, it's the evil version of you.
So, about what is the average lifespan of anyone in this game?
Well, it's the same as anyone who plays Dark Souls, essentially.
Or I guess it's the same as anyone who's ever had rats and mice for pets.
Well, and one of the advantages this game actually has is if you die, and this I wish Dark Souls did this. If you die, you have the option of actually creating a ghost of your previous incarnation to come help fight alongside you.
Oh, nice.
So it helps you to overcome what killed you by basically
the ghost of
double-teaming
regrets
it.
past.
Yes. So it's like I said, go out there. It's on Steam, and very interesting game, and you should go give it a shot. Next up, expansion coming for City of Skylines. The Snowfall expansion is coming out on 2/18. Why are you licking the mic? Who's licking the mic?
I don't know anything about that.
Oh, I wasn't looking. Okay.
Wasn't looking while she was licking.
This is what I get for reading.
I got some tea stuck in my... I thought I might have gotten some tea stuck in my mic, and I was quite worried about that, so I was trying to drain it out, but then I remembered that I was on camera.
Yeah.
So.
So basically, this is not just a textural expansion. This is not just all of a sudden there's white on the ground. You will have to deal with the impact of heavy snowfall. Mouse can speak to that for living where he lives.
So can CC. We can talk about that for fucking hours.
Basically, as the mayor of this newly created metropolis, you'll have to keep traffic moving. You'll have to deal with higher electricity costs because of people staying indoors to keep warm. You'll even be able to impose restrictions such as requiring the elderly to wear anti-slip studs on their shoes in order to keep health high.
I thought about buying those just this week because I was like, I've tripped like 6 times just trying to get out of my apartment.
So Tuesday we had a snow day too, and I was the only person in my entire department who actually made it to the goddamn office. I was doing the work of 5 people, so... I kept thinking about this guy who got arrested in Fargo for clearing the snow off his driveway with a flamethrower.
I remember that.
That man is my spirit animal. Yeah. If I could do whatever I wanted to in this game, I would have like a little horde of flamethrowing people just clearing snow everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, aside from the snow, it actually will be adding in another feature called trams, which will be similar to buses. Except on tracks, so you'll be able to put trams in for everyone who loves all that traffic management in City Skylines. The whole expansion should cost about $13, and keep an eye open for it later this month.
All right.
Next up, CC.
Oh, Hearthstone. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong part of the schedule.
No worries.
Hearthstone is coming out with a new format. They're coming out with 2 different ways to play. It's standard format and wild format. Wild format would be the same thing as they've always have, and standard format is going to be more like a lot of collectible card games. Think Magic the Gathering, where they have certain... they only have certain sets that you can really use in tournament play at one time, because it keeps the game ever-changing, it keeps it interesting, and it keeps you giving them money. Cardboard crack kind of stuff. So I think they're modeling... that a little bit more after that, because it keeps the game more dynamic, because otherwise you get stuck with, okay, I have this one deck that wins all the time, and there's really no reason to change that if you have just a really awesome deck. So you can continue using that in the wild play, but in standard play you can only use the more recent games, which means that the cards that came out from, I think they said Curse of Naxxramas and Goblins versus Gnomes will not be able to be used in this standard format. Blizzard's referring to this first cycle of standard format as the Year of the Kraken. And for those of you who are concerned about, but I can only have so many decks, they are doubling your deck slots, so you can keep, I think, 18 instead of 9 different decks.
Oh, doubling slots is always good.
Yeah, so that you can have your wild sets, your wild decks, and you can have your more standard decks, which I think is going to be a lot nicer. Mm-hmm. So... Yeah, Hearthstone format changing things up a little bit. I think this is going to work in terms of keeping their longevity. Because for a while I was kind of like, this is a little bit of a one-trick pony. It's gonna you play for a while and then you figure out how to win. You go, okay, I'm done now. Um, then you just kind of win and win and win and win and win
Forever and ever.
forever and ever, and you don't really have a reason to change the gameplay up, which gets really boring after a while.
Yep.
So I'm glad to see that. I think it's going to keep the game a lot more interesting over time, dynamic, changing things actually.
It helps them ultimately with standardizing for like tourney play and stuff like that.
Yes, very much so.
It's like when Magic basically did the whole thing with the Black Lotuses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right,
The
next
Black
up,
Lotus. Good times.
hit the right button. There we go. Mouse.
So, for those of you who were looking forward to playing Kingdom Hearts this year, Square Enix is licking up your tears and going delicious. The release of the game has been pushed back to 2017, so you're gonna have to wait one more year.
I mean,
until you
if
get
you've been
your-
waiting for Kingdom Hearts, you've been waiting for like 10 years, so...
Yeah, so what's one more year? Unless they decide to go one more year for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Just be thankful they don't age Sora according to years of release. He'd be collecting Social Security by the time K3 came out. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Or getting IOUs from Social Security. But in any case, Nomura himself has confirmed that the release date has been pushed back. Some of the reasons given is that they have got better hardware to toy with, and so they want to revamp and refine some things. And as far as the characters in the game, Nomura has remained incredibly tight-lipped, telling us that there's a surprise coming. So we'll see.
All right.
all right,
I just hope that they find some way to make the storyline of this game slightly less complicated than a Gordian knot.
no, they're they're tying it all up.
They have to tie up all the other, like, Kingdom Hearts 2.5 kind of...
Oh, yeah,
2.5,
that's it.
3, 4 over 68. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Bethesda has announced that they will be having a pre-E3 show, a 2-hour-long pre-E3 show on June 12th. It's like an episode of Oprah.
Yeah.
You get a Keyblade! Everybody gets a Keyblade! Ah!
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Everybody gets a Keyblade. I wish I had one. But basically, but starting on June 12th, which will be just before E3, there's some question as to what they will be talking about, considering all they announced, last year, and recent Fallout 4 and all that stuff has come out. And we know Dishonored 2 is coming.
And it's only been a year, so what do they have under their sleeves?
So
Fallout
there's a lot of talk about. I mean, we know Doom has finally gotten its announcement, which it's anticipated to come out May 13th. There will be we might as well say £100 because it's 99.99 pounds, or 99 pounds, 99 shillings,
cute
however
of
you
them.
say it. I don't know. But this will be a collector's edition. It comes with a 12-inch tall statue of a Revenant demon on an LED lit base. And there will be a lot of other items in the game that you get along with the collector's edition. So
I don't
keep
know.
your eye open for that. If they want to keep their momentum, they're going to have to top last year. So, and they had a lot of crap last year that was, they've had a hell of a year, quite honestly. So,
Yeah.
aside from that, some upcoming announcements for games that are coming out. 223 Far Cry Primal will be coming out for Xbox One and PS4. 224 Disgaea will be coming to the PC for the first time. And you can pre-order it on Steam. 226 Bravely Second End Layers coming to 3DS. 3-4
Yes.
Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess Remaster will be coming to Wii U.
Yes.
4-5 Quantum Break will be coming to Xbone.
Okay.
4-12 Dark Souls 3. Expect there to be Twitch marathons up the yin yang.
all
I'm
the
so
deaths.
excited about
all the deaths.
All the guests. 420 Ratchet and Clank will be coming out with a new
Yes.
game on PS4.
Tying up with the time of the release of the movie, if I am correct.
Possibly.
If they're smart, that's what they do.
428 Total War Warhammer will be coming to the PC.
Yeah.
429 Uncharted 4 Thief's End will be coming to PS4. 5.3 Battleborn will be coming out. 5.24 Mirror's Edge Catalyst.
I'm interested about that one.
628 Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens, because it will be coming to damn near everything in creation,
Pretty much.
as Lego does. And 823 Deus Ex Mankind Divided will be coming out.
Yeah.
That's really what we have for the dates, because much further than that, they're not. They're just saying it'll be in November.
Yeah,
Sometime.
I mean, beyond that, it could, some of those could be changed anyways.
Oh yeah.
Next up, Sony, and kudos to the logo department at Sony for placement of periods. That punctuation's important, otherwise it just becomes Sony make-believe. But they've announced that they will be combining their PlayStation department with Sony Network Entertainment to form Sony Interactive Entertainment. And they will be moving the PlayStation development teams from Japan to San Mateo, California. It will be completely US-based. We're not sure quite what that means in practical terms. But basically they're saying that this will be a bigger emphasis on developing pioneering platforms like PS4 and PlayStation VR, world-class games from our worldwide studios development teams, and innovative network services such as PlayStation Vue. So we'll see.
We'll see how it turns out.
And Sony, if you need any opera singers in your new American base,
you have a tenor soprano right here.
Right here.
Open your sound studios in Colorado, and they'll be happy to just stand on your doorstep and.
Fuck that shit. We'll go to California.
Yeah.
They can pay for our plane tickets. They're not that expensive.
They don't get They don't get snow like that. Or
next up, Mouse. Molyneux's vision. Go ahead.
Okay, so the Molyneux cycle is once again rolling like Proud Mary. If you remember, Peter Molyneux's aborted Godus Kickstarter campaign. Well, the campaign was successful. He reaped a ton of money, and in typical Peter Molyneux style, he promised the moon, and he gave you a tiny rock that says, "Here, this is a moon rock." So, as we all know, Godus was a huge disappointment. Some of those who might have backed this abomination on Kickstarter and on Steam might have noticed the addition to their library of a little game called Godus War, which is currently on Steam Early Access. I have it. Okay, autodafe confession. I actually backed Godus. I was feeling incredibly generous, but to my credit, this is the only Kickstarter campaign that has blown up in my face.
You should have known better. It had Molyneux tied to it.
I know. I got caught in the. I got a sip of the Molyneux Kool-Aid, and
Molyneux tied in there, and he didn't have any higher ups saying push.
No,
their thumbs
go
down,
back,
saying,
go
do the
back,
thing.
go back. Yeah, and so apparently, Godus War is supposed to be part of the Molyneux vision for the original Godus. The original Godus was supposed to be very light on battle, while the second part was supposed to be more battle-oriented, real-time strategy game, and so now they have decided to release this. And Peter Molyneux, breaking once again his oath that he would not speak in interviews or to the press or anyone, Wes basically published a personal letter on the Godus War page in which he says, "Why don't we change Godus into an RTS style game with God game capabilities and landscape modifications, an RSTS game with a huge amount of variation and power, the ability to approach each battle in a different way." That was my dramatic rendition of Peter Molyneux, because at this point, that's what it is.
He's basically promising the next Black and White 2 again.
The acorn.
He's promising Fable.
Yeah.
What Fable was supposed to be.
Exactly. Now, one thing, which really shouldn't be a thing, but he does. The game features Brian Henderson, who was the player who won the contest to be made the God of Gods back in Godus. Which has still not been added, but he is in as a deity later on in Godus Wars. So we have one more spoke in the Molyneux wheel of constant reinvention, which is just basically constant failure.
Brace for it.
So here it goes. Here goes nothing.
I don't know why
again.
people still give him money. I really don't. All right, next up, Kojima Del Toro. They're back. Everyone should be silently squealing with joy. These two, for anyone who, again, was hiding under a rock, they were What's going on with the chat room? What?
Oh, don't worry, just keep going.
Okay. For those who were hiding under a rock, you should know that they were originally going to be co-heading the latest Silent Hill installment, which, for anyone who remembers PT, I believe it was, that got yanked.
Which was so frustrating because they released that teaser thing and you were like, what? And at the end it was like new Silent Hill game and you're like, yes! And then they were like, no, you know how we created all this hype? Psych, you're not getting this game. And everyone was like, no.
Yep. And Kojima is, by the way, and Kojima has not been fired. He's just on vacation.
Oh no, he's gone.
I know. That's what they were tweeting us at the time.
He left. In December, he left. He ended his relationship with Konami, and he is starting his own independent studio called Kojima Productions, which will be creating its first game exclusive for PS4. But basically, the two of them, Kojima and Del Toro, will be uniting to discuss basically their fondest memories of their own individual careers and some pivotal moments from each other's works that remain constant inspirational sources. So they're going to be. It's going to be a conversation with Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro. Accents just right out the.
No, let's repeat after me. Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo, with a J.
Guillermo, that's how you pronounce the double L.
Oh, okay.
Guillermo del Toro.
Okay, so no, we've all been told wrong. Okay.
Yes, you have been told wrong. Most certainly so.
Because we've been all told that it's Guillermo.
It's Guillermo del Toro.
Whatever.
Like the
him. The two of them will be talking, and it will be moderated by Jeff Keighley. And one thing in fuck Konami news. According to Jeff Keighley, apparently Kojima was supposed to have appeared at the Game Awards back in December, and he was blocked by Konami. They told him he wasn't going. So add that to the fuck Konami pile. You know, we love Jim Sterling, Jim fucking Sterling's son. So there. And I don't know where I was going with that. But
anyway.
Moving on to Ant Sim in the Cautionary Tales of Kickstarter.
I have to say that I love this. Okay, so
you had things to spend the money on.
You had a survival title called Ant Simulator, and it had a successful Kickstarter. Well, we've had some recent news by lead programmer Eric Tereshinsky, where he basically explains that the two of his partners, whom he has known for about 11 years, he discovered that they basically blew the money that was collected from the Kickstarter on, quote, liquor, restaurants, bars, and hookers.
He did not say hookers, strippers.
Wait, strippers.
There is a difference.
Strippers.
There is a very important difference.
Right. Well, I'm sure there must have been a hooker.
Not in my mind.
But there's no touchy rule. No touchy.
There's no touchy rule.
No touchy rule for strippers.
Then again, some hookers do specialize in that too. But anyways, also his ex-business partners, because he cut ties with them, told him that if he were to release Ant Simulator without them, they will sue him. Now, the question is with what money, since they spent it all on strippers, but whatever. So he has decided to cancel the project and erase all of the media online pertaining to the project, and he is contacting people to issue refunds.
What kills me is that I would take him up on that. I'd be like, oh, really? You think you're going to sue me for that? And then I'd take it to court. And I'd tell the judge exactly what happened, how they used all the money, and the judge would probably be like, why haven't you sued them for theft?
Probably because they have no money left after they blew it all up.
Oh, I don't know if it would qualify as embezzlement or not. I don't think it would. Maybe it would.
Not embezzlement. It does qualify potentially as wire fraud.
Wire fraud. There you go. So.
Well, it is not uncommon for some developers in situations like these to just go, oh, fuck it, I'll refund everybody. I don't want to deal with the legal issues.
That's true.
So that could be why.
Yeah,
that's true. And he may be a little bit less sadistic than I am.
It all comes down to a matter of how their partnership was structured.
Mm-hmm.
If it was legally binding and there was a contract involved, yes, embezzlement actually is a potential. He does have to sue them and has to represent that they basically took what funding that they had and mispurposed it. But really, I mean, if it were to come down to wire fraud, he would actually be sued along with them by the people
because
who
it was
actually
part of
contributed. Yeah.
So it is here. This gives you another reason to remember: choose your partners wisely.
Cautionary tales from Kickstarter. Just remember, guys. All right. Now moving from games over to the land of print. There will be a new Star Wars novel coming out, Star Wars Bloodline. This is actually going to be following up directly from Star Wars Aftermath. It will follow Princess Leia as she transitions from princess to general. Spoilers for the movie, I guess. And basically, it's going to focus on her helping a new generation of senators and lawmakers remember the importance of the rebellion
and the devastation, don't they?
And the devastation the Empire caused. Now, this is funny because I was recently watching was it Film Theorists, I think, and Matt Patton crew talking about how technically to the average layman, the Empire was a good thing. No one cared that the Emperor was the Dark Lord of the Sith. No one cared because they were having a prosperous society. They were building a giant Death Star.
It was a job.
It was a job. It was construction.
Employment.
It involved hundreds of planets. And what the
do.
rebellion did was what they referred to as literally a terrorist act that, if it had actual financial repercussions, would have seen them in a galaxy-wide recession for at least into the time of the Force Awakens.
Well, yeah, they basically blew up 2 planets, two moon-sized star bases.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money and a lot of people dead.
They actually calculated out how much the damn thing cost.
Yeah.
And what that, I mean, in terms of, it was, go watch it. I cannot recommend those channels highly enough. After we leave us, when we're done, you can go watch them. But stay here with us because we love you more.
Yes. And speaking of things we love and don't love, the next topic has to deal with DC, and it just seems very hard to keep DC out of the fire these days.
They throw themselves in the damn fire.
They do. So we have some reports from Rich Johnson from Bleeding Cool. He has some insider information from a writer who has told him that before the DC Comics Rebirth / Afterbirth, the following titles are going to be canceled.
I trademark Afterbirth. That's the term I gave it.
DC Afterbirth. So they're going to cancel Batman / Superman, Batman / Wonder Woman. That's a strange threesome right there. Anyways, Grayson.
Wait, what? Batman / Wonder Woman? There isn't a Batman Wonder Woman.
I mean, Superman smash Wonder Woman.
Superman smash Wonder Woman.
slash.
They've had plenty of slash. That's the problem.
That's the problem. They're also the first 2 books are rather bad. Unfortunately, they're also canceling 4 of their best books, at least their best written books: Grayson, Starfire, Black Canary, and Midnighter. And then they're also canceling Dr. Fate, which has been lackluster writing and very poor pacing. So it's okay.
And horrible artwork.
And pretty bad artwork. Rich Johnson was able to confirm that at least 2 of those titles are canceled for good from another independent source. But what's even more disturbing is a little bit of an insight he got into the current culture at DC right now. Anything that was in the middle of being pitched is considered, or was even being considered, is now dead on the table. According to mandate, everything has to be new. So you can say goodbye to that Marv Wolfman Raven miniseries. Creators and editors aren't allowed to pitch their previous pitches anymore, no matter how good they were. And this sounds like word from the top from Warner Brothers, like a mandate, like the New 52 was. So we kind of get a whiff of what the Afterbirth might be like over at DC. Further disappointment. Another news from that is that the Titans. Something is happening to the Teen Titans. In the previous one, I was hopeful because Greg Pak was coming on board of the Teen Titans book to fix that goddamn pile of ass. Well, that has changed now. Greg Pak is going to be there just until Afterbirth, or right before Afterbirth.
Told you.
And what's going to happen is this. The incredibly lackluster and poorly written but beautiful art book, Titans Hunt, is going to become the new Titans comic. Not Teen Titans, just Titans. And it will include Dick Grayson, and it will include Donna Troy, even though she's a mass-murdering fuckhead in this version.
Well, but it's all being rebooted. What does it matter now?
Well, we'll see if it's all being rebooted.
They might forget that Dick Grayson was, outed.
Outed. Well, we'll see. But what's also going to happen is that there will be a new... People were fearing that meant that there would not be a new Teen Titans book anymore. There will be a Teen Titans book, and one of the leaks currently tells us that Damian Wayne is going to be the leader of the Teen Titans.
Well,
so,
given the recent run with Red Robin, it can't be any worse, I'm telling you quite honestly.
So now we have... Once again, it's like they do this every goddamn summer. DC is flailing around again, going, change everything, even what was working, change everything, change is good. And meanwhile, Marvel is going, tell me more. So, I'm sorry, I'm a DC fanboy. I've got, and there's a Wonder Woman back here, but seriously, DC, what the fuck are you doing?
We keep trying to take logs off the flame, DC. Stop adding them.
Yeah. Seriously.
The funeral pyre doesn't need to be any higher for you.
Pretty much. Now we have some good news, though, in the comic aspect. Valiant is doing very well. If you remember, there was the miniseries for Faith, her code name is Zephyr. Valiant editor-in-chief Warren Simmons described her as a sci-fi loving, Firefly quoting fangirl that wound up standing shoulder to shoulder alongside some of the most powerful superheroes on Earth. And this series was so anticipated that Faith #1 shipped with its first print and second print on the same day, but it still wasn't enough, and they ordered a third printing on the same date on I believe for February 24th, which makes it the fastest third print scheduled in comics history. So good for Valiant.
I'm excited. This looks like it's going to be like this. I haven't actually read Faith yet. I've been meaning to, but again, it's kind of hard to find right now because everyone wants it. So maybe I can break into a comic store on the 24th.
Yeah,
but I've been
yeah, and comicsology. Yes.
I am really, really looking forward to this. It has a lot of potential, and it looks just pretty adorable. It looks happy, and everything that I've read, I just like the main character. And you don't always like your main character of some really good comic books. Like, I feel very mixed about the main character in Watchmen. Of course, that's kind of how you're supposed to feel about them. But it looks like it has a lot of potential, and I can see why.
Faith was a fan favorite as far back as the Harbinger run. So.
Oh yeah. Well, I can see
she's had this coming for a long time.
Oh yeah, and it's easy to tell why this is so popular because it's just magnificent, absolutely magnificent. So.
All right, moving on to small screen news. CC?
Yes. So sadly, Joe Alasky, the guy who's best known for playing Daffy Duck in DuckTales, has passed away. He took over doing a lot of the Looney Tunes voices. Daffy Duck? No, not DuckTales. What am I thinking of?
Looney Tunes.
Duck Dodgers.
Okay, no.
Dodgers.
You know what happened to you? You know what just happened to you? The Nostalgia Critic. DuckTales, woo!
DuckTales. Like, that's exactly what happened. My brain just said, DuckTales, woo! But he's best known for his Daffy Duck. In 2004's Duck Dodgers, he actually won an Emmy for that. He took over doing a lot of the Looney Tunes voices after the 1989 death of Mel Blanc. So this is a beloved man, and he's going to be deeply missed in the animated universe. the world of
Animation.
cartoons.
Yes.
Thank you. The world of animation. Thank you.
Pictures that move quickly.
Yes.
Next up?
And so next up, Top Gear. We don't normally talk about Top Gear because it's
Not quite our bailiwick, but hey.
you know. But I'm super excited about Top Gear. I love Top Gear.
Give them the backstory, because for those who don't watch Top Gear, they don't know the reasoning behind what it is or what's the reasoning for this.
Well, Mouse is laughing because I've been watching a lot of Top Gear recently, and he is thinking about something I told him, which we are not going to repeat on the air.
Things I'm going to add to the highlight reel later.
But I've broken him. So he's just going to be laughing the whole time. So just give up on listening to Mouse. We might as well mute him.
I wish I could.
Last year, Jeremy Clarkson, one of the hosts of Top Gear, got...
which is a BBC show about cars and things like that.
Cars. I mean, it's technically a BBC show about cars, but really it's just a bunch of British men playing pranks on each other and being generally grumpy and bad-tempered, which I am a fan of. I don't know what that says about me, but I just like watching old British men
it's your
argue.
Inner healer.
So Jeremy Clarkson got in an argument. He's one of their main hosts with a member of the BBC, and we don't know why this happened, but he somehow got, I don't know whether he punched or he slapped someone, but there was in fact connection with his hand and someone else's face. So his contract was not renewed for Top Gear for the next show, and the two other hosts, Richard Hammond and James May, have decided to move on with him, and they're actually doing their own car show. They said, fine, if you're not going to have Jeremy Clarkson, we're not going to do Top Gear. We're going to do our own show on Amazon Prime. That's going to be streaming later. I don't think they've announced the title of what it's going to be. We just know Amazon Prime has their own car show at some point. But Matt LeBlanc is one of our new hosts. They've already had... they're joining... Chris Evans, not the Chris Evans you're thinking of, just different Chris Evans, not Captain America Chris Evans. Yeah, different Chris Evans, sorry. But Matt LeBlanc, yes, of Friends fame, is going to be one of the hosts on Top Gear. He is an American who is best known for being on Friends, and he is now on Top Gear. He's apparently quite the gearhead, or they say petrol head on Top Gear. So
I'm sorry. Everyone says he better known from Friends fame. I still remember him all the way back from Married with Children. So,
well, yeah. Well, he probably got the most money from Friends.
Well, yeah, considering his show, his role lasted longer than.
Yeah. So yeah, new host. They're talking. I'm not certain if they're going to have a third host. I think they are going to, but they haven't really figured out.
That is their format.
Yeah, their format. They have 3 people, so, well,
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So I think this is probably a pretty good choice. I think he's less likely to punch people than Jeremy Clarkson.
Right.
And I wish we kind of knew more about what happened and why he punched that guy, because as much as I think that if you punch someone at your workplace, you probably should not expect to keep your job.
What?
Unless you work in WWF.
Yeah, unless you work at WWF and
WWE.
Whatever.
World Wildlife Federation took that title. They got the
yeah. But at the same time, sometimes it might be good for someone to get punched every once in a while. So
I can name. Never mind. I'm not gonna say.
As opera singers, we most heartily agree.
Yeah. So.
Moving on.
So yeah.
Moving on. As we discussed last year, Marvel, well, not so much Marvel as the Fox incarnation of Marvel, is basically bringing the mutants back, but they're bringing them to the small screen. We were originally told that they were bringing 2 shows to the small screen, one being focused on the Hellfire Club and the other being Legion. We have more news on Legion in that they have announced who will be playing the titular character. I guess that will be Dan Stevens from Downton Abbey. But among other people cast are Aubrey Plaza from Parks and Rec, and Jean Smart from Fargo, and also from Designing Women, who remember her in that role. So they've been signed on for the new show. which is supposed to be filming starting in March. They do not yet have a date for premiering it, but we're gonna see where this goes. It's clearly not going to be the same type of character because Legion, for those who are familiar with his comic incarnation, was over the top powerful and over the top nutsy cuckoo. So that's going to be a little hard to bring to life on a TV show.
Maybe they'll cast Jared Leto instead.
Oh, please.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, no.
For the Hellfire Club, I want to see Dame Maggie Smith cast as Emma Frost.
I do not want to see Dame Maggie Smith in those outfits. No,
you do. Oh,
no,
you do.
No.
You have to admit it.
Yes. But in addition, just as a side note, there are rumors that Fox is attempting to create a New Mutants movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very afraid, but we'll see where this rolls.
You give them far too much the benefit of the doubt.
We're just gonna see where it rolls. So Mouse, take it. Netflix and Hulu.
Oh yes. So, for those of you who are not privy yet to the heartbreak and you're a Doctor Who fan, Netflix right now is licking your tears because as of February,
so much tear licking.
All of Doctor Who is leaving Netflix.
It's left. It's gone.
It's gone. Yeah, it's February. That's right. It's gone.
It's gone.
Of course, Netflix did clarify that this was a licensing issues, but that
this is only in America.
This is only in America.
Canadian Netflix still has it.
Right. But they are always open to renegotiate. So hopefully the cry of a million voices will be heard, and we'll see what happens. Now, I'm noticing a thread here because my next topic has to deal with what a bunch of assholes Time Warner, Warner Brothers, is. Because, see, very soon it might actually come to be a reality that Hulu's Stream the Next Day ability will be gone. And the reason for that is Time Warner is reportedly looking at buying 25% of Hulu's stock in an attempt to prevent that service from being able to stream current seasons of networks and premium television, which, of course, Netflix does not do. So once again, Warner Brothers, fuck you so hard. Like, really, really hard.
I just got a little bit of information about the Top Gear Punch. I'm sorry. One of the only people who watches Top Gear more than me is my mother. And she said that Jeremy Clarkson had a cancer scare that day and was very emotional when he punched the guy. He apologized, said it was totally his own fault, and was unwarranted. He also reported himself to the BBC, and no one there, including the guy who was punched, reported him. The BBC then refused to renew his contract after he reported himself for disciplinary action. A lot of the controversy is apparently because the Top Gear people do not believe he is likely to repeat this, and he is extremely penitent about it.
Thank you, Mama Cece.
So,
Thank you.
Thank you. So that helps put context, and it also explains why people were like, no, he should not be leaving.
So this is why we love our audience.
Yes, because they actually interact with us and give us more information.
Yes. Sometimes they call us out on things, like when our mics aren't on.
Yes, which is useful.
Next up.
Hold on, wait. Before we move on, I have to say this for one of our viewers. One of the only. All right, let's continue.
Okay.
Right.
One of our viewers is a little bit nitpicky about proper grammar use and using the phrase "one of the only" is oxymoronic. But in any case, we'll continue. I just like to tease him.
Okay.
One of the only.
Yes, one of the only. Because it's either the only or more than one. You see. In any case, we are going to. Is it my turn again?
Yeah.
All right. So, those of you who are looking forward to the Power Rangers movie, which debuts on March 24th, 2017, I'm not one of them, but the movie now has its own Rita Repulsa, and the casting is Elizabeth Bank.
And spot on. quite honestly.
Right. And she has already finished other movie projects. Rita Hayworth with a hand grenade, which it sounds like something I really want to watch. And she'll be coming back for Pitch Perfect 3. So this might be an interesting development. I did not watch Power Rangers growing up, but I did watch reruns of Ultraman, the original 80s 70s, Zentai show. So I'm familiar with the genre. Moving on to yet another DC thing. So Gal Gadot has told us a little bit more about what Wonder Woman does in the movie. The spoilers that she revealed are that in times of great need, Wonder Woman can remove her bracelets and augment her power tenfold, but it also makes her insane in the process. She also has mental and psychic abilities like ESP, astral projection, and telepathy. And I know that Drew kind of twitched and had an apoplectic fit when he heard this. But there is actually a reason for this. In the original Wonder Woman, as written by William Moulton Marston, although it was published under the pseudonym of Charles Moulton until he revealed himself to the world that he was the inventor of the lie detector test, Wonder Woman has bracelets that, instead of the bracelets of victory as we know them now, they were called the bracelets of submission. And his whole philosophy was that, the Amazon submitted to the law of Aphrodite, which is the law of loving submission and loving authority. And when they lost those bracelets, they basically lost touch with the law of Aphrodite and became like men, and they would go on destructive rampages with their strength tenfold, etc., etc. So that's in the original.
Yes, the original Wonder Woman was very
kinky,
very, 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 very kinky.
Okay, I'm going to point out that in recent storylines, that concept has to a degree returned, because there have been battles where she fought what's her name,
Diana. No, she did it way before. She fought Artemis, the goddess Artemis. She basically took off her bracelets and proceeded to beat the living shit.
Yeah, basically, she said, "This, you're taking your bracelets off." She says, "You idiot! This was to protect you."
Yeah, and there's also another. Also, in the golden era of Wonder Woman, she had several gizmos from Paradise Island that allowed her to have psychic powers, and at one point she actually was able to astrally project herself onto Hades and the Elysian Field. So that's part of her history way back when.
But again, my modified complaint is, pick an era and stick to it. Jesus.
Because Batman has a gun.
Okay, yeah, you want to play with Wonder Woman and Batman as in their original incarnations? Fine, let's go back to Superman in his original incarnation, where he wasn't so damn super.
Right, he could just leap over tall buildings. He couldn't fly.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been nearly the threat that he is, perceived. Anyways. Yep. This is not our round table.
And he couldn't grab a giant S off of his chest and throw it at people.
Yep.
The cellophane S.
This is not our round table. So let's get to our round table, because we are running out of time and we're going to have to make it a quickie.
Mm-hmm.
Our round table takes two faces, has two aspects. The first up is Sony and their efforts to their efforts to trademark the concept of Let's Play. And thank God the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office said, "Excuse me, what?"
Yes, they found out. Well, they pointed out that someone else has already trademarked the term LP Let's with a Z play.
Yeah, and bad punctuation.
Right, which only goes to the punctuation makes my inner grammar Nazi twitch and do the goose step. No, It's just terrible. But in any case, it only went to prove how generic the phrase had become, and Sony had absolutely no fucking reason or right to actually trademark it, because they didn't come up with it.
Cited there were over 50 examples of people using the term "Let's Play." Not, and in addition to the Wikipedia page and the /r/Let's Play on Reddit. Mm-hmm. U.S. Patent and Trademark Office said, "No, you can't. You can't."
And honestly, I understand creators wanting to trademark their ideas, their products, etc. However, I do not think in any case, in any point, in any moment in human history, you should have the right to come in and trademark something you did not invent.
Wait, hold on. Let's add the second part of this, because this is whole. The second part of this is the Fine Brothers, who basically attempted to trademark their reaction videos.
Yeah.
And
I think the idea was to trademark their specific, like, young people, old people react to.
Right. They had kids react and elders react. And they were specifically aiming, for their particular format of that particular type of thing.
Yes.
And apparently this brought out the vitriol of the YouTube like there was no tomorrow.
Yep.
They lost tens of thousands of followers. They became the joke of YouTubers who basically just ripped into them. And this basically has forced them to retract their request and to drop all of their pending content ID claims and all that. Because they thought that their intention was pure and that they were going to somehow get people to pay for this format. Yeah, that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
I hate to tell them this.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No. I mean, there's a YouTuber named 8-Bit Eric, apparently, who has, since the Fine Brothers have kids react and elders react, he did teens react. And apparently full screen TV, which is I guess something that the Fine Brothers are affiliated with, have basically hit every one of his videos and have basically been pulling from his income stream and all that. And again, as Mouse says, I understand the concept of wanting to trademark your particular format. For example,
but it's like saying that. But it's like having this kind of thing is like having CNN try to trademark the news.
Yeah,
that's what I was actually going to say. Damn it, CC, get out of my head. Well, here's it. It's like this. It's different as if you were trying to trademark the news, right? Versus you were trying to trademark, say, the format for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Or even more, let's make a deal. Very specific, very, something that is not generic. Although I guess Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is kind of generic.
Well, I mean, for example, if somebody came in, let's say I wanted to go trademark a podcast about geek topics, I think the Nerdist, Geek and Sundry, and a whole bunch of other companies would be on my ass faster than White on Rice. Because, they were there at number one before me. They may not necessarily have been first, but they certainly have the popularity. But let's go identify exactly who had the first geek podcast, quite honestly.
Yeah.
Now, if they were to take that logo up in the corner, which I made with my own computer in my own time, I would kick their ever-living asses. But that's because I made that's unique to this particular podcast, and it's an identifiable logo.
Yeah.
If they were to go with the whole, I'm going to take the thing where it's all white and it's got a little graphic over here and three hosts above who are, in fact, constantly messing up in the middle of the show.
Yeah.
Then there might be an argument that they're stealing our format, but again, I wouldn't necessarily say I'm going to trademark the format. I would then say, hey, they stole our format and it's not fair use. Which is a different argument. So, I don't know. It's, the fact that they both got slammed down, Sony perhaps a little less than the Fine Brothers, but they're going to have, the Fine Brothers especially, are going to have to earn a lot and kiss a lot of ass. I'm telling you.
Well, I think Sony deserves to be slammed down more because the Fine Brothers at least have produced their own content with that.
Yeah.
That's at least their own content. Sony's just like, we did all these random people who are not actually working with us, posting videos of themselves playing our games. Yeah, that's us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and I just want to know. I mean, how would you enforce this internationally?
Oh yeah.
I mean, the only thing that would happen is YouTube would block American viewers from seeing. That would just piss off Americans because we are such kind-hearted, loving individuals.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. just the sheer audacity to go out there and say no affiliation with the audio program.
This is typical. The whole Sony thing is typical of these companies who have not actually created anything on that level, but think, oh well, we can find a loophole in these laws and capitalize upon it. No, you're doing it wrong, you motherfuckers.
Yep.
And you deserve to be scorned and tarred and feathered and run out of town for that.
Yep.
You are the people who screw up copyright law and trademark law into the messy
well, not just that, but
it is.
If you want to trademark something, trademark it the moment you make it. Do not wait
until it becomes popular.
Wait, it's been going on for about 10 years, and look how popular it is. We better get on this and try and capitalize on the money that we could have been making if we'd actually done something worth trademarking and actually. I mean, when I they're opera singers. I'm a writer. When I wrote things, I submitted them for copyright immediately. Even if they were horribly written, they still went in for copyright.
Because then if somebody reads it and then makes a good version of it,
it's mine. I own the
it's
copyright.
still yours.
Yeah. But I did it immediately, or damn close to immediately after finishing it. Yeah. So, I can't. It's not like I'm coming back 20 years later after 3 or 4 other people have come up with similar ideas and gone, oh, no, now I'm going to go trademark and copyright and all this other stuff because these assholes are making money. No.
Wait, I wrote a vampire fanfic where there was a sparkly vampire who was... Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, so that's why if you have an idea and you think it's worth the money, capitalize on it immediately. Don't wait until somebody actually makes money off of it.
Because that's what assholes do.
Capitalize. That's a matter of making somebody else do the work for you and then going, oh, but it was my idea, therefore they owe me.
Well, these stories actually give me hope in a funny kind of way, because I think there are always going to be people who try to cheat the system and try to turn everything towards, for their own gain. And it's kind of refreshing to hear that these companies who are trying to pull off absurd things are actually getting smacked down for once. Because there are so many times that they put up these, that a lot of bigger companies will put up very strange lawsuits and just sue the crap out of some tiny little company that hasn't really done anything. That's has something vaguely similar, like when Games Workshop, and I love Games Workshop. Well, okay, I love their products. I think the company is horrific, but it's the Konami of the tabletop world, by the way.
Fuck Konami.
Yeah, so fuck Games Workshop. But Games Workshop at one point was trying to copyright the term Space Marine.
A little late there.
And they actually came very close to winning a lawsuit against this poor woman who'd written a book series called Space Marine, and it had nothing to do with the Warhammer verse. The only thing that was stolen was the term Space Marine, which is just so generic. It's like, oh yes, we took some...
It's a marine in space.
And we put him in space.
It's like trying to trademark the word mage.
Yeah.
Or priest or rogue.
Yeah.
It's a space paratrooper.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's actually really refreshing. I actually really enjoy watching the end result of this kind of lawsuit, because it's the company kind of getting no, don't be stupid. You can't do that. Don't say that. Stop that. Smackdown, If you want it to be, if you want to copyright something, then you come up with your own things, which is why the new Warhammer 40K stuff, they Astra Militarum and stuff like that is what they're calling the new Space Marine Codex kind of stuff.
And I harken back to the collectible card game concept when I think it was Wizards who owns Magic the Gathering now.
Yeah.
When they trademarked the concept tap. Mm-hmm. So no other card game is able to use the concept of tapping a card for resources.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I can give you that one because you came out timely, and that is a term that you coined.
Yep.
And the popularity came about because you coined the term.
Yeah.
And you're not saying no one is able to use a card for resources. No one's able to allow them to turn it sideways. They just simply can't tap it.
Tap it.
So they can flip it, they can spin it around, they can lick it, they can do whatever the hell they want to do.
They can gyrate it.
They can gyrate it. But Sony and Fine Brothers, get off your high horses. God's sake. Mm-hmm. Really. Make something and then trademark it immediately.
Yeah, it's not something that should be happening, and it's not something that should be tolerated, really.
Yeah.
All right, and that's our roundtable.
That's our roundtable for today. Thanks. Companies, stop sucking. People, make sure you trademark when you actually make the stuff. Otherwise, you're going to look like dildos who just sat back and go, well, if this becomes really popular, I guess we could just trademark it then.
Yeah, and then you're just sacrificing the hard work you have done for hard work you haven't done. So, anyways.
And if you are doing that, you need to be very sure that you're making sure you're copywriting specific things instead of just like, we're copywriting React videos.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm copywriting reality.
Because that's part of why a lot of people left.
I made this. This is all, universe is mine. I made it all. So anyways, yeah, I forgot the Geekamole stuff. Mouse is no longer at fault. It's all on me.
It's
he
all
gave
his
me
fault.
the contact
Shame
information.
him. We started late because of him, and he still does not have the graphics. I gave him the information last week.
He gave me the graphics. He gave me the number, the information promptly after completing our episode last Saturday. I neglected to do anything with it.
You need to do the walk of shame back and forth in front of this camera.
No, I'm not going to get up out of my seat until this camera's off.
Yep.
You know, you're not wearing any pants again, are you?
I'm wearing pants. I'm always wearing pants. I don't ever sit in front of this camera without pants on because I never know when I might get up.
No, I do that a lot.
I don't need you guys seeing me in my boxers. That's just not going to happen. So, yeah. What are you guys doing this week?
Studying opera, because I've got the opera happening in March. No, April. I've got
you're doing April.
I'm doing opera. I have the opera. I have a concert in April, and I'm trying to make it so that I can sing a duet with CC for her graduate recital. But I signed up to this group that I'm doing the concert with about what was it, 2 semesters ago. So I'm obligated to uphold my thingy with them because we only agree. I uphold my agreement with them and my contract with them because they're actually paying me money. Whereas CC and I planned this a semester ago, so I'm like, I'm gonna see if I can move one thing or move one other thing because I'm coming in at the end of CC's recital, and our concert happens exactly the same time that her graduate recital happens on the same day, and I didn't know that until a week ago when the conductor finally decided on a date. So there's like a gigantic, I don't know what even to call it, clusterfuck happening. So yes, because the week after I'm done with the opera, that's when I've got the concert and I have the CC's recital.
Well, I have a concert of my own on Wednesday, and then I have a big competition. Ooh, next Saturday! I should tell you guys that. I'm going to be going down about an hour south and competing in a big statewide competition there. So,
awesome!
Do we we're not going to have recording time?
Yeah, if we can record early, or I can.
Yeah, we should probably record because then probably the next week after that we might be going to Colorado. You know, the place with the Metropolitan Soprano.
Yes.
So we'll have to see.
Okay, so we'll plan on record. So next week we'll be probably pre-recorded. So if I forget to turn my mic on, you'll just get an entire episode of me doing.
Yeah.
Fuck these buttons. The buttons are not doing anything.
Because they can hear me because 2 different programs. But anyways, so I am going to be starting my diet. I kind of started this past week but failed miserably yesterday. So there were donuts involved. Sorry.
Woo! Donuts.
Oh, man.
You want a donut?
Yes.
I've already eaten them. Sorry.
All right, so how long does this episode last?
This episode has lasted probably an hour and 10 minutes.
Woo! We're still going well on target. This is our new sexy slim down format compact. Melts in your mouth, not in your hand. Tell us if you like it.
What is it about melting in the mouth and not in the hand that you've got on?
Like
Well, that, M&Ms are tiny and they do not melt in your mouth. They
Yeah,
melt-
stop
that-
using candy as the analogy because I'm trying to slim down myself.
Oh, right. They're like celery sticks. Okay, that's our format. Our format is a celery stick. It is long, but it's just the right length and it's just the right width to fit in
Wow,
your mouth.
the
And it's good with
vorpalisms
peanut butter.
have just really.
it's good with peanut butter on it.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, nope. We're gonna stop there because the vorpalisms are getting worse in my head. They're getting compounded. We're done.
We're
Thanks,
done.
guys.
Bye,
Hit
guys.
the subscribe button. Follow us on
Join
YouTube. We
us.
still need followers on YouTube.
Follow
Bring your
us on
friends next
YouTube.
week,
You wanna
and
follow
see you
us.
later.
Yes. Bye.